What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Yeah. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghost in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Welcome to the pod, no cap, it's a seance. Whispers in the static, spirits doing dance. Reptiles in suits, yeah, running the lands. MK Ultra made a puppet of your mans. Wendigo hunger, dogman strut, flat woods, eyes glow. Slice through the cut, Bigfoot tagging trees. Marking the trail, weird ones ride, no room for the frail. Talking about trauma, talking that soul. Peeling back layers, we dig in a hole. Sacred geometry, numbers align. Ancestors speak through the veil in the sign. Ayahuasca dreams, third eye lit. Shadow self lurking, we making it spit. No mainstream lies. This the dirt where the weird ones rise from the blood and the hurt. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghosts in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Voices in the woods got chills on the neck. Black-eyed kids at the door, now we check. CIA tapped in, fluoride drip. Project Bluebeam, watch that script. Talking about grief, talking about fear. Talking about why them voices appear. Healing the mind while breaking the chain. Spiritual warfare deep in the brain. We don't run from the strange, we live in the strange. Tattoo the truth and the scars and the pain. Stay weird, the mantra we own in the name. Reality bends, so we bend to the same. From the attic to the swamp, we tracking the freak. Where the veil get thin and the silence speak. We ain't your norm, we off that grid. Weird as the wave, yo, this where we live.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is with my partner, Allie, the mother of my youngest daughter, and all-around amazing person. Can't say it too loud because she might hear me, and I feel weird after giving compliments. No, I'm just kidding. I feel weird getting compliments. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she's told me one of the stories that she tells in this, but I can't remember. It sounds familiar, but she has a couple stories. And then we just kind of like talk about our thoughts and stuff, and it's a good episode. I will say I was really tired. We don't know when we're gonna have the time to do this together. Because of the baby. So I took the opportunity to go ahead and done do it because who knows. So I did it tired, so I'm not as enthusiastic as I usually am, but I still think it was a fantastic episode. So quick shout out to the sponsor, Flavors of the Forest, raw garlic dust. It is super potent, way better than anything you're going to get at the store. I promise you. You don't have to actually cook with it. You can just throw it on there when it's done and mix it in, or as it's about to be done. Also, they have a shit ton of other flavors. They have spicy garlic. They have cranberry garlic. They have lion's mane garlic, horseradish garlic. If any of that sounds enticing, definitely hit them up at flavorsforest.com. That's where you can get all of that shit. You can also follow them on Instagram at flavorsforest. So check them out. Tell them I sent you because I put that shit on everything. So also, Wild Beauty Products, whipped tallow moisturizer, and a whole bunch of other stuff they do. My buddy John and I from out there in the great state of Michigan, the Michigander. Yeah, so this is his company, or him and his wife's company, or girlfriend, or anyways, it's his. He sent it to me. And this shit is really good. I've been using it on my face a lot, and my face feels silky smooth all the time. Also my hands, because my hands are working man hands, so they do get really weird feeling sometimes, but like really grainy, almost like they feel like sandpaper every once in a while. But it's really good. So wildbeautyproducts.com, that's where you can get that shit. Other than that, Gatlinburg, Smoky Mountain Bigfoot, me and the kids just went to, and it was a lot of fun. Got to hang out with some friends from got to hang out with Jenny Oren. So Oren is the co-host over at Bizarre Encounters. Got to see Doc from Prometheus Lens, Bennett from Broadcasting Seeds, the Gentleman from North American Bigfoot and Paranormal Society. That's a lot of words. Dude, they're dope. I like them a lot. I can't remember the number of their episode, but they're in there. They're actually one of my highest grossing, one of my highest viewed episodes on YouTube anyway. And who else? I mean, there was a ton of people there. I wish I got to I wish I stood in line. There was lines for the speakers. Um and I didn't want to do that. But Ronnie LeBlanc was about to go on break, and I caught him and talked to him for a minute. Meant to get a picture with him, as I have gotten a picture with him every time I've seen him. Wicked good dude. Said he's gonna come on the show, but he has not yet. Every time I email him, so I'm like, I walked up to him like, "You remember me?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm just checking. There's a lot of faces. I'm sure you see a lot of faces all the time." So, um, what else? Who else did I? Rachel from Like Mother Like Murder and her boyfriend Joel. They came out and we got to hang out with them. So we did lunch, we did dinner, we did a haunted house together. Also with Jenny and Oren, we did the haunted house. We got some drinks. The kids went. Her daughter and my kids went to the arcade. Rachel came out and we did moonshine tasting, and then we got matching T-shirts from the moonshine place. It was a good place. I mean, it was a good time. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. And I might make the trip down for next year too. It really kind of depends. So I'm doing a lot. So we do have a cryptid hunt coming up in October, so I'm traveling for that. And then I'm going to be going to Phoenix, Arizona in January for Higher Ox, which is like, I don't know if you want to call it an obstacle course, but it's an endurance thing. So it's, I'm gonna be out there for a couple days. I don't know if I'm gonna be by myself or if Allie and the baby are gonna be tagging along. But if I'm by myself, I don't know what to do, because I don't know anybody in Arizona, so I don't want to stay there too long. My trainer is gonna be there. She's doing it. But she's not gonna. I'm pretty sure she said she's doing it around vacation, so she'll be out with her family. So I don't even know why. All right, I'm talking about it way too fucking long. Other than that, and then the next thing we got planned is in February we're going to Texas. So, um, so yeah, the books are filling up wicked fast. So I'm wicked excited to go to Texas though. I get to see David from Down the Rabbit Hole. Trying to talk Rachel and Joel to go down. I guess Joel has a motorcycle, so I want to bring, because we might drive to Texas, and if we drive to Texas, I want to get a trailer so I can bring my motorcycle. There's some fucking beautiful straightaways in Texas, and I want to ride it. So, two things that help my depression is being in the wind on a motorcycle and going to the gym. So, um, anyways, I talked way too long, so I apologize, but I also don't. So, you do have a fast forward button. And I really hope you enjoy this conversation with my significant other. She's an amazing person, super supportive, probably one of the most supportive people I have ever met. She's a big reason. She's a big help when it comes to being able to still to do the show and stuff like that. But yeah, all right. So let's get into this with Allie, shall we? Sensational. Where the weird ones go production. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and I do that in the intro, so I don't know why I'm doing it now. But today, I have a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend. It's not a man, it's a woman, but that's how I roll. Anyway, it is my partner, Allie. Allie, say hi.
Hi, Allie.
Why are you saying hi to Allie?
Because you said say hi, Allie.
Yeah, but I didn't say hi to Allie.
Hello.
Thank you. I was gonna try and make it look like I froze, but then my eyes moved. Well, you can tell that I'm tired. That's for sure. So, what do you want to talk about tonight?
Whatever you want to talk about. I figured maybe we can bring up two little stories that I have on some ghosty experiences that I've experienced and how your life of the cryptids and ghost paranormals have kind of affected me.
You said you didn't have any experiences.
I did not say that. There's been two.
He's-
Well, there's
he-
one ghost. They're ghost like. It's not physically.
Mm,
Well, not like I've never visualized and seen one, but I've had some thoughts about it. And if I was to see one, especially in this house, since the stories that your kids have said, I'm out. More or less because I don't want to see them. They can be present. They can have their fun, but it's
I run anyway, so. Well, if it's scary. I've seen things in the house. Nothing has been scary in the house. To me. Anyway. But Braden was telling me a story about him being on FaceTime with Peyton and something walking behind him or something like that. Or like blocking out the light for like a quick second. But I kind of think because the lights have been flickering in the kitchen for a while, I kind of think that's what that is. I don't think that when he's talking about that experience, I don't think that is a true paranormal experience. I mean, he can very well be afraid of it and scared of it or creeped out by it. That's okay. But I don't think that was anything paranormal, in my opinion.
I don't think so either. I think with more of your stories and what you've kind of experienced throughout the house too kind of puts a eerie thought in a lot of people's minds, but a lot of people don't understand that like seeing ghosts and actually experiencing, shadows and stuff like that, it's not always a negative thing. Because my first encounter when I knew that spirits, not necessarily ghosts, but spirits were real, was when my Nana passed away, and she passed away October 19th of 2008. So I was 13 years old, and I had to, so this is coming from the first story that I had, that I kind of realized that spirits, more or less not ghosts, but spirits were true, was when she passed away. She lived in Florida. She lived in Fort Lauderdale, and we would visit her every single year. We would always go down there, and I remember her smell, the way her house was, how organized she kind of was, her demeanor, just in like the way that she kind of presented herself. She was a very strong woman. I don't see that in my mother, but more or less. Anyways, when she passed away, I was young, and we had a service for her up here in New Hampshire, and it was a few weeks after her passing. And I remember I wrote this beautiful poem. I wish I had it to this day because it was such a lovely poem, and I wrote it from the heart. And I remember standing at the podium being like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I got this. I'm reading my poem. I get about halfway through. As I'm standing there, I just all of a sudden choke up. And I look around and I look right at my mom. And my mom looked at me. And I could feel the presence of a hug. And I knew it was my grandmother's, my Nana's hug. My body like instantly like felt the feeling, the warm feeling of her. And I was like, Nana is here. Nana's here. So I instantly started crying. Obviously, I was young too.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to keep my composure, and I was like, get through this, you've got this. And I kept saying it, and finally I felt that release, and I was like, I finally finished what I was saying. And I get off the mic, and I sat down with my mom, and I just looked at her. And the second I looked at her, I just started bawling my eyes out yet again. And I just said, Mom, I could feel her. I felt her. I felt her presence. I felt her warmth. I felt that hug. I didn't smell her, but I could feel like I actually felt the hug that she would give me. And she had like a known hug. And right then and there, I mean, being young, I didn't understand it as much. I thought, I'm just over exaggerating. But over the years, I was like, no, I knew she was there with me. She gave me that hug, and she gave me that comfort to be like, you can get through your speech. I'm here for you. And then a few times since she had passed away, I would be with my mom, specifically with my mom, where we would be walking through somewhere and we would talk about her, and all of a sudden I could smell her. And I'm like, Mom, do you smell that? And she was like, yeah, it smells like Nana. Why is that? So that's where I kind of like started my, I believe in the spirits. I believe in ghosts, okay, but I believe in the spirits. I believe that there is an afterlife, that the afterlife does impact reality, at least right then and there. My dog passed away. Our little Yorkie passed away. She passed away.
Hold on a sec. Do you ever smell Swisher Sweets randomly?
No,
Since you haven't smelt them since you've been in the house?
not unless you're eating them.
So my Uncle Keith used to smoke Swisher Sweets, and whenever I get a random smell, like it's usually in the house. That's when I know that he's there. So I was just saying, like, to relate to that, because I never really, well, I've always assumed that it was because of him. But like, when we went on our bike ride with Mark and my other cousin Cody, and Cody's not related to him, but Cody's on the other side of the family. But we were at the restaurant, nobody smoking outside, and I remember Mark and I talking about the smell of Swisher Sweets.
Yep, I remember you saying that. I don't think I don't know particularly the smell of Swisher Sweets. I do smell like an occasional cigarette, which I don't know if that's similar to the smell.
I mean, it's like It's hard to explain the smell of Swisher Sweets, but it's essential. I mean, it has a cigarette smell to it. Or cigar, because it's technically, well, not all of they do have cigar forms, but I don't know if the cigar forms are the same smell. But um, I know my grandfather smoked like a fucking like he was a fucking chimney in the middle of winter. But I mean, people smoke all over the place, so it's hard to deter that. Um, but when it comes to Swisher Sweets, not many people smoke Swisher Sweets, at least in my opinion. But like to be able to smell it and not see anybody smoking anywhere near you is weird. And I'm not saying that like like it was definitely him. It definitely could have been somebody that we just couldn't see smoking a Swisher Sweet when we were at the distillery or the brewing place that we stopped
It's
at for lunch.
it's a smell that's a distinctive smell, and the fact that you and your cousin were together,
Yeah.
it's just weird. There was definitely nobody smoking around us.
And
It was
we were the only family members that were pallbearers. It was Mark and I, and then the rest of the guys were firefighters that he worked with.
weird.
So I find that interesting.
I feel like a lot of sense too is a lot of like spirits. Sense is a lot of like smelling, which is why I just think that the afterlife has a good impact on there's an afterlife, and there is a positive afterlife, and they're still here for us, and they
Yeah,
show
I'm not.
you these small signs.
Sometimes I just think it's a different dimension. We're not really dying because it's really just the car doesn't run anymore. You know?
Have you ever thought that you had an afterlife? Because I know that I had sorry, not an
What do you
afterlife.
mean?
Before life. Like what were you before this life? I know what I was before this life. I
Well,
know which human being I was before this life.
I personally don't know, but I've been told by somebody that I was a few different things. Like one of the things was that I was Emily. She told me that I was a dragon and that all she felt was pure anger, and she thinks that that's what I've been trying to learn was how to control my anger throughout all my lives, and I just haven't done it yet. And then another life, I was this old man. Obviously, the whole life wasn't me being old, but when I was old, I had this big long beard. I had a staff or whatever, and somebody who was important thought that I betrayed them or something like that and stabbed me in the chest. And I do get phantom chest pains all the time, and it's happened throughout my entire life. Um, but like when I pushed the bike up the up the driveway the other day because it wasn't starting, and like just like right here, it's always right here towards the middle too. It's never anywhere else. I mean, I get sore here like from the gym and stuff, but like when I get a random sharp pain, it's always right here on the right side of my pec. Um, but I was just like it was hurting all fucking day. And I was just associating it with me just trying to push that bike up the hill, which still probably could have been. And then the other life was that I was like a native woman that didn't take any shit, I guess, essentially. Like I wasn't the gender norm for a female in this in the third life, and that's all she got. So like all I could picture was a native woman on bareback horse throwing completely nude, throwing a spear at a bison. Just tits hanging out. Just I'm gonna eat today. So I don't know. Anger has definitely been a struggle. So
Well, with what she said and kind of how you are nowadays, I mean, I don't think that you're an angry person by any means. I think you know how to handle your own anger. But it's cool to think like, what was your past life? What were you before this?
yeah,
And hearing that and, somebody else saying about you getting stabbed in the chest or whatever it was and you having those chest pains in where it would be, that's cool.
it's weird.
It's very interesting.
So who were you?
I was what I think was I was the grandfather of a Spanish like family, and I was the leader, and I was the one that raised the young, and I was I wouldn't say abuser, but I was the one that like laid down the law. And for some reason, I think I ended up getting like massacred or something.
Massacred?
Like I
Did you
was
just
like
say massacred?
like I was maybe not massacred, but like I was like fully like skinned from head to toe.
Okay, well, massacre is the killing of more than 3 people at once.
Yes, that's Italian words. They don't work. But that's just how I think I've always felt, which is very weird. I love Spanish music. I've always kind of been very like
What kind of Spanish? Because not all Spanish people are the same.
they're not. And the Spanish music I listen to, what kind of genre they are, I just categorize it as Spanish music. I don't know, bachata, merengue, whatever Bad Bunny plays, just random stuff. I mean,
Bad
I've
Bunny.
always just liked it, but ew. The music's good. It lifts you up, and that's just
the Bad Bunny stuff is the same because I didn't know who he was, and I looked him up yesterday, and it's the set like the beats are the same as everybody else's.
yeah. Well,
It's got that fucking high top fucking tap.
did you look him up yesterday because we watched the Adam Sandler movie?
Well, yeah. All right, tell me about this fucking dog that I interrupted you about.
So my grandmother passed away when I was saying that. My nana passed away October 18th of 08. And like I said, I felt the feeling of her hug, and I could occasionally smell her, but only when I was with my mom. And for several years, I never smelled her. I didn't feel her or anything. And I was like, we obviously still celebrated her birthday every year, her passing every year. Our little York.
You celebrated her passing?
Yeah. We just had like a little, it was not celebrated, but like it was like a mourning of her passing, not a celebratory thing, but we wanted to like enlighten the moment to be like, she was finally done suffering, giving light to her.
Okay.
So she passed away on the 18th. So our Yorkie that we had, we got her in a few years before my grandmother passed away. I forget which year exactly it was.
You know what year it was?
I
It was
forget what year.
It was probably that year.
Mm,
It was the year that you got her at.
no,
That's the year.
because it was a few years after my nana passed away. Because
Yeah, but it was the year you got her though.
when our Yorkie passed away, it was the day after my nana passed away.
I was trying to fucking make a joke, but okay, go ahead.
Why are you making a joke about dying?
Because
Trying to
dying
show
is a
some
joke.
enlightenment on it.
We're celebrating.
So
We're
yeah, our Yorkie.
celebrating the passing.
Exactly. I mean, it at the end of the day, passing is no joke. It definitely is very hurtful and sorry, and it's. But at the end of the day, after years and years and years, you have to just think about the positives and not dwell on the sadness and be like, they're in a better place at the end of the day. So our Yorkie ended up passing away. She was 14. She passed away obviously several years after my nana passed away. She passed away a few years ago. I think it was
Is it obvious?
2021, 2022 she passed away.
Okay.
And it was the day after my nana died. And what happened was my mom ended up waking me up at 2:00 in the morning, and our Yorkie was Dunzo laying on the living room floor.
Oh
She
shit.
came downstairs. She's like, "Oh, Sophie's dead. Sophie's dead. Sophie's dead." The second I walked upstairs and I saw her, obviously, I was crying and I was sad, and Leo was actually with us. And I went down and I, coddled the little dog. And I looked at my mom and I said, I smell Nana. All I can smell is Nana. She's like, "You don't smell death. All I can smell is poop and this and that. I can't believe my dog is dead." She was just beside herself because that was her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew that she had, Sophie had passed, our little dog had passed. And I said, "Mom, all I can smell is Nana. Why is it that I can only smell Nana?" And then my mom came to the realization and she looked at me and she's obviously crying because she's upset that her dog died. But she just lost it to the point where she almost threw up because she was so upset because she's like, "All I can smell is Nana. I can smell Nana." It's like, I knew she was with us yet again. Nana's with us. It's just crazy how the afterlife does have an effect.
Is it really
What are the odds? What are the odds that we would smell her?
Right, no, but what I was gonna say was like, is it really the afterlife? If we're living several lives, wouldn't it just be a waiting room?
Could be. It could possibly be. I think the times that I have smelt her wasn't like I wasn't in public or I wasn't with anybody else. I think it was the majority of the times when I smelt her was when we were just home.
It's for you.
Touche.
She's there for you. It's an experience for you. So that you know. She doesn't need anybody else to know.
Yeah.
You know?
Very true.
So Brayden used to cry randomly about my Uncle Keith. Even though, like, Brayden didn't get to experience him very much. But we told my mom, and my mom started telling I don't know how many people she told, but she told my Uncle Harlan and stuff that Brayden was seeing him. And I was like, no. Brayden's not seeing him. He's just crying. I don't know if he was just randomly crying and felt like he needed to, like, tell me why. But he would randomly cry in the middle of the night, and I'd walk into his room, and I'd be like, "Why are you crying?" He's like, "I miss Uncle Keith." And, like, Brayden didn't have a whole lot of experiences with him, so it didn't make sense. So I don't know if he was just using that as to be like, well, I need to give him a reason that I'm crying, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like, why would you go around telling people that he's seeing him? That's not what I said. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, kids are also resilient, though. I feel like kids and pets see things that we don't see,
Well, yeah,
especially being young. I feel
that's
like,
where when I was a kid, I saw the most of the things that I've seen in my life.
yeah.
I didn't see anything. I haven't really seen anything other than shadow figures as an adult. But I saw some weird shit as a kid, you know? And I used to cry at night. I used to lay there in bed and I'd close my eyes and I'd be like, this is what death is like, except I can't feel my body. And then I'd start crying. And then my mom would come in and tell me that it was going to be okay because I would be in heaven. And I said, what happens if heaven isn't real? And I don't remember what she said to that, but I remember asking. It
Oh,
just, I think she said, well, I think what she said was, well, I believe that it is. As long as you believe, then there's nothing to be afraid of, or something like
well,
that.
that's very sad.
So, uh, I don't know. But you also you went into Kristen Smart's apartment, which was weird of you to do.
Pam Smart.
Pam Smart, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I meant to say.
Pam Smart, the story of the teacher who was married and was dating one of her students, and her student she called him a hitman and said, come kill my husband, and I came and killed him. And at my mother's house, the house that I lived in for 20 something years, just happened to be less than 300 feet away in the same neighborhood. And I was just, being a younger kid. I mean, I think I was a little bit older. I was in my like mid to late teens at this time, where I was like,
Mm-hmm.
they happened to have an open house, or the house. I don't know if it was an open house or if the house was vacant at the time, but I just remember going there with one of my friends, and we knew that the murder happened in the house. So we were like, let's go investigate. Let's go check it out. And we found out that her husband ended up being murdered in the bathroom, in the upstairs bathroom. So we were young and we went up there and we were like, oh yeah, let's go check it out. And silly, goofy Allie, because I was my, charming class clown self, went up there and I said, oh, I'm going to go lay in the bathtub. And I laid in the bathtub, and you just got like a very eerie feeling. I don't think I thought too much about it because I was with somebody. I think if I had gone alone or thought more about it at the time, it would have been a lot more like, my brain probably would have had a different perspective on it. But it was once I was in that bathtub, it was like an instant, like, nope, we got to get out of here. It was just like a warm, I wouldn't say unwelcoming feeling, because I don't think I've ever had that feeling, but it was like you knew something was not right. You got to get out of there. It was like, no. And we just, we were kids and we were young and didn't think twice about it. People live in that house nowadays, which I'm surprised knowing that story.
Right. I have a question. Can you be a kid without being young?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just
I was
checking.
gonna say, look at yourself in the mic. Look at yourself in your camera. You're still a kid. That's why I said I was a kid. I was just young. It was like young-minded.
Yes, I know. I know what you meant. I was just.
Yay. But yeah, I think like over time too, like I think I've come to more of a realization of these kinds of things, especially being with you and seeing, listening to your podcast, listening to your stories, specifically your stories, and kind of just being like, in the back of my brain, a lot of these things were like, oh, I didn't think twice about it. When in reality, it was like, no, there was something a little bit weird about that. And a lot of your stories that you have, especially in this house, like I said, ghosts, you're more than welcome to be here. As long as you're good, I don't mind. And like you've said, you've seen stuff. You've walked out of our bedroom door and you said, as long as you're good, you're welcome to be here. And you've seen that. If I was to physically see it, I just don't know how I would react. I'm okay.
I never tell them that it's okay for them to be here.
I thought you said that one time. There was a shadow outside of the bedroom.
No, I said, in the name of Jesus, get the fuck out of here.
I thought I might be wrong on that, but I remember you saying something.
I mean, I said if you don't have any bad intentions or whatever, something like that. What I said was, if you are here with bad intentions, then in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. Other than that, you should be good, or something like that.
Yeah. I just remember hearing about you talking on one of your podcasts or whatever, or it might have just been like between us, but
maybe I could be misremembering too, because I say a lot of things that I don't remember. So
yeah. But I know that you've seen some shadow figures. The kids say that they've seen some shadow figures, and I'm open to it, especially, learning a lot more about it, because I'm not.
Sometimes I wonder if the kids are only seeing these things because of the podcast.
I think recently, yes.
Yeah.
I think prior, no, because they were a lot younger.
Yeah. The only thing that I remember was Kendall seeing the ghost cat when she was little, and it scared the fuck out of me. Yeah, Alex got scared too. Alex was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't know. There's a fucking cat in the room, and we gotta kill it.
It's also too, like, kids being kids and being misconstrued on like what they say and what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
You never know.
Yeah.
I also think it's weird that one time that I wanted to call you, but I waited until the end of the day. You remember that time about the moon?
No.
I was leaving our house and I was going to New Hampshire with the baby.
Uh-huh.
Several months ago. And I remember looking down at the clock and it was like 10:57, 10:58 or something like that. And I'm driving down, I think it's 125. I might be wrong on that, but it was like a straightaway for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few trees, like a narrow way, but I could see pretty much directly in front of me, a little bit to the right, the moon. I could see the moon. And every time I see the moon in the morning, I always think of you, because it's just, why is the moon out in the morning? There's got to be some reason for it. The moon should not be out in the morning. It's true.
No, it's like, I mean, I could see the moon being out for a little bit in the morning. It's like when it's fucking noontime, 1:00 is when I'm like, why is the moon still here?
Which is why I thought it was weird, because it was almost 11 o'clock and the moon was still out, and it was a sunny, sunny day.
Yeah.
So I'm driving down the straightaway, straight down. Whoop. And I look up, I see the moon. I'm driving. Like I said, it was 10:58, 10:59, listening to music. 11 o'clock hits, and for some reason I look up and the moon is gone. I look down at the clock and it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, all right, I must have like turned. It's gotta be around here somewhere. I could not find the moon anywhere. The moon literally vanished. Like, I blinked and the moon was gone. I was literally looking at the moon.
The moon is a UFO.
Blinked and the moon was gone.
It's a spaceship.
And I remember that day thinking like, oh, I need to call Kevin to tell him about it. But I was like sitting back and I'm like, I'm just crazy. I must have like taken a turn and like I'm literally crazy. And in that mindset, I was like, I am
That's why
crazy. I'm not going to
that's
call him and be like, oh, the moon just disappeared.
that's why a lot of people don't tell their stories.
But why is it that at 11 o'clock, literally on the dot, gone?
I could understand. So, like, if you're seeing the moon during the day and it's a full moon, I could understand that because, like, a lot of other places might be experiencing a new moon, right? Or the phase where there is no moon. You know, like it's one. It's usually one night that there is no moon, or you can't really see the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, and then you got the new moon or full, which actually I think when it's no moon, it is new moon because that means that and then all of a sudden the moon starts gradually coming back. So you get like the crescent, like the little C thing, and it gradually gets bigger every night and night after a night, and then you're back to full moon, and then it starts going back down like that until it's nothing. So like
Yeah, I could
when you're
totally see that, but
seeing
it was a moon. It was a circle moon.
that's what I'm saying, full moon. So like if you're seeing it during the day, like I could definitely see that happening because where it's dark right now is experiencing the new moon. But when I see a crescent moon in the middle of the day, that's when I'm like, why the fuck is this here? Like, what is blocking I can see the sun here and I can see the moon here. There's one here, one there. I could, if I sit back and like, if I pull out my camera, I could see both of them on the camera at the same time. What is blocking that light from the sun on the moon to make it a crescent moon during the day? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Crazy.
Generation X.
Somebody's doing something. Somebody is doing something.
Aliens.
I
Fucking
hope. I
aliens.
hope.
I don't want aliens.
I don't
Don't hope
necessarily.
for
No,
that.
no, 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 not the aliens portion. I want to. I'm so much of like somebody who's so in between because I do believe,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I want to physically experience it. But at the same time, I think if I was to experience it, it would change my whole mind because I'm such a afraid person. Like I'm such a scaredy cat. I would literally be like, nope, I'm done with the world. Like I
I
think about it all the time. Like,
I
gosh,
thought you were gonna say you were a foolish person. You're like
I'm afraid. No, like I think about it all the time. I'll be laying in bed and I'm like, I'm gonna literally look up one of these days, and there is going to be some sort of something that's looking over my daughter's crib. Like
don't 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 even say that out loud. You don't want to manifest that.
I've been saying it because I feel like the more
I'll
I
karate
say,
chop you. That's what I'm gonna do when I come upstairs and karate chop you to death.
you can't catch me. We're between cameras. Yeah.
You're only 10 feet away, technically.
Touche.
I'll come through the floor.
Say, what would you do?
What would Jesus do?
Take me out to dinner. Bing bang. Yeah, well, that's my kind of story. I don't have very much other than my two kind of ish experiences on what
I would call them experiences.
They were definitely what my Nana's story I will tell to the day I'm dead, because that one was just something that was so like feeling a feeling of somebody hugging you from the backside and knowing, like, hugs. Like if I was to
Mm-hmm.
hug you versus somebody else, you could, if you were blindfolded and I was to hug you versus Rachel was to hug you, or Joel was to hug you, or the kids were to hug you, it would be so different. You would kind of know. But a specific hug, especially being young and knowing your grandparents hug, like a once in a lifetime hug that you get from the time you were young to the time that you were old.
Mm-hmm. A teenager.
It was just, I will never live that day down. And I will tell that story to the day I die, because I just, having that feeling, it's not just her smell. It was not just her smell. It wasn't just feeling her presence. No, it was, I felt that hug. And I was so prepared for my speech, and it was a beautiful speech. And I wish I still had it, but I don't, unfortunately.
Mm.
But that was what broke me during my speech. And my mom knew it right away. And she was like, you were so prepared. And I was also young. Like I said, I was in my teens. And she's like, I know you're an emotional person, but why? And I was like, nope. I felt Nana.
Mm.
So it was a very wholesome
I was
moment.
actually thinking about this today randomly out of all days. I don't recall my dad ever crying for either my grandmother or my grandfather when they passed. I don't recall seeing him cry. I know my grandfather was fairly abusive, but he was still dad. Like, he was still there for my dad as a dad. You know what I mean? Like I mean, my dad and his brothers got hit, and I guess you could call it abuse. You know what I mean?
I feel like your
But
dad always is very, at least when I've always seen him, he's always been a positive guy. And just, I mean, I've never seen him in a sad situation,
hmm,
but
I've only seen him cry once.
well, next time you see him, punch him in the nuts and you can see him cry.
I wrote him a letter and I gave it to him when him and my mom freshly were separated. Yeah. We were living with my grandparents and he came to pick us up, and I gave him a note about how much I missed him, and I watched him cry. It was like the only time. I think, actually, the more that I think about it, I think I do remember seeing him cry at my grandmother's funeral, but for my grandfather, I don't recall seeing it. So, but I also think he was like the coordinator of the funeral too. So I think that there was a lot of other things. I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't cry. I never saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's also just a man being a man. I mean, how many funerals have you been to? Did you cry at your uncle's?
I cried at all of them.
Well, you're also you're not, I wouldn't say that you're emotional, but when things hit you hard,
I,
you are very emotional
I
in
mean,
a lot of ways.
when I wasn't close with my Uncle Brian and I wasn't close with my Uncle Russell, but I still cried at their funerals.
I think just in general too. I mean, it depends on the person, because you've got a lot of people too that'll hit you with, which I won't do it here because I could talk so much good about you, but when people talk highly about you,
Mm.
and how loved you are and how great of a person you are, it hits you because you realize, like, you just have to realize how good of a person you are. And then I know when people do it, it'll get to you. But there's not a lot of people that wear their emotions on their sleeves. And you don't necessarily wear it on your sleeve, but you will show emotion when the emotions are there. I don't know.
Okay. You fucking weirdo.
I didn't know how else to say
When they're there, I don't know. But when they're not there, you don't show them. Weird. How does that work?
Right?
All right. Well, I think we covered enough time out of 2 stories. So
I think so.
So you don't have anything for people to follow, so I can't be like, hey, tell everybody where to find you.
You can follow me at Kevin Scipio, Where the Weird Ones Are podcast.
Also, if you're into feet, she does have an OF where she shares feet pictures.
Not yet, but I'm ready to go for it. But you can hit up some great merch. We've got shirts, beautiful Tumblr, Where the Weird Ones Are podcast.com.
Well, everybody, for the listeners out there, if you like today's show and you would like to somehow support it, the easy and free ways are to like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. If your podcatcher does not allow you to leave a rating or a review, please consider doing so on the website, where the weird ones are podcast.com. That is also where you can get the merch, like the shirt behind me, the one that Allie is wearing, and that goddamn fucking tumbler that she was just trying to show off. There's also a whole ton of other designs. You can also get hot sauce, coffee, supplements, and you can read some short stories that I've been writing. I haven't written one in a while because I've been trying to work on this goddamn book that's taking fucking forever to edit and shit. So, yeah. Also, if you have any stories of your own, conspiracies you'd like to talk about, you want to get into spirituality and all that kind of shit, mental health issues, all that, I'm here for it. So hit me up at wheretheweirdonесare@gmail.com. You can also get me on Instagram, where_the_weirdones_are. And every other Sunday, check us out live on the YouTube channel, Where the Weird Ones Are, for Weird Java in the morning. It's a variety show I do with my good buddy David. Like Mother Like Murder also sends us a segment for missing people. So, all right. I think that's all I got for you. So, question everything and stay weird.
In the quiet of the night, when the world feels far, there's a voice through the static, like a falling star. It calls the misfits, the dreamers, the ones who see the shadows in the corners, the truth we barely believe. From the pine tree woods to the desert skies, they talk of ghosts and aliens with wonder in their eyes, not afraid to ask the questions that others won't dare, 'cause the world gets strange when you stop and stare. Come gather around where the weird ones are, by the fireside glow or a midnight call, where the stories run deep and the secrets fly like owls in the dark or stars in the sky. If you've ever felt lost, like you don't belong, you found your place, you found your song, right here where the weird ones are. They'll talk of cryptids, time slips, and deja vu, of spirits that linger and what might be true. But more than the monsters, it's the people you'll find who dare to be open with curious minds. It's not about fear, it's the thrill of the ride, to question the world with wonder as guide. So pull up a chair, let your freak flag fly, we're the seekers of truth beneath the sky. Yeah, come gather around where the weird ones are, on the moonlit thoughts and cosmic scars, where the veil feels thin and the questions burn, and we chase the strange at every turn. You're not alone, not in the dark, you're with a tribe. You found the spark right here where the weird ones are. For the ones who wonder, for the ones who know, welcome home.